Good evening and welcome. Tonight I invite you to leave behind the noise of the modern world and step into a place of warmth, quiet beauty, and gentle rain. Our journey takes us to a Victorian greenhouse, a vast glass sanctuary filled with exotic plants, winding pathways, and soft lantern light, where the sound of falling rain creates a peaceful rhythm that echoes through the night. Outside, the weather is cool and damp. Rain drifts steadily from the dark sky, tapping softly against panes of glass that stretch high overhead. Beyond the greenhouse walls, the gardens are wrapped in mist, and the evening air carries the fresh scent of wet earth and distant trees. Yet inside, an entirely different world awaits. Warmth lingers beneath the great glass roof. Moist air surrounds lush greenery from distant corners of the world. Ferns unfold beneath hanging lanterns. Palm leaves sway gently in the stillness. Tiny droplets of water gather upon leaves and quietly fall to the soil below. The Victorian era was a time of fascination with nature. Across Europe, grand greenhouses were built to protect rare plants collected from tropical forests, distant islands, and remote mountains. These remarkable structures allowed people to create entire climates beneath glass, transforming cold landscapes into thriving indoor gardens where orchids bloomed, citrus trees flourished, and towering palms reached toward filtered sunlight. To step inside such a place was to enter another world, one carefully designed to feel separate from the seasons beyond its walls. Tonight, as rain falls steadily outside, we will wander through this peaceful greenhouse together. We will follow quiet pathways beneath towering plants. We will listen to water gently striking glass overhead. We will observe gardeners tending rare flowers by lantern light. We will watch the changing atmosphere as evening deepens into night, and the greenhouse becomes a sanctuary of warmth, surrounded by darkness and rain. There is something deeply comforting about places like this. They offer shelter without isolation, allowing us to remain connected to the weather while protected from its discomforts. The rain remains visible. The storm remains present, yet inside there is only warmth, calm, and the quiet company of growing things. Every leaf, every drop of water, and every beam of lantern light contributes to an atmosphere that encourages stillness and reflection. So settle in comfortably, allow your breathing to slow, leave the concerns of the day outside the glass walls. The rain is falling softly overhead. The lanterns glow warmly among the leaves. The greenhouse awaits, peaceful and welcoming, beneath the night sky. And together, we will step inside. The greenhouse awakens long before the sun rises, though awaken may not be the right word for a place that never truly sleeps. Throughout the night, while the surrounding countryside rests beneath drifting clouds and gentle rain, life continues quietly beneath the vast glass roof. Leaves continue their slow and silent growth. Vines stretch almost imperceptibly toward the light they remember from previous days. Moisture gathers upon broad tropical leaves before slipping downward in tiny droplets that disappear into rich, dark soil. The greenhouse remains alive through every hour of darkness, carrying within it a world that follows its own calm rhythm. Outside, the morning arrives slowly. The sky remains hidden behind layers of soft gray clouds, and rain continues to fall with the same patient consistency that has accompanied the night. The surrounding gardens glisten beneath the damp light of dawn. Gravel paths shine with moisture. Stone walls darken beneath the rain. Small puddles reflect fragments of the pale morning sky. The entire landscape feels hushed, as though nature itself has chosen to move more gently beneath the weather. Inside the greenhouse, however, warmth lingers comfortably in the air. The immense glass structure captures and protects a climate entirely different from the one beyond its walls. Tropical palms rise high toward the curved ceiling. Ferns unfurl delicate fronds beside winding pathways. Exotic orchids bloom among carefully arranged displays of greenery gathered from distant regions of the world. The contrast between the cool rain outside and the sheltered warmth within creates a feeling that is immediately comforting. It is the sensation of finding refuge without losing connection to the weather beyond. As the first hints of daylight filter through the glass overhead, the greenhouse begins to reveal its extraordinary details. Water droplets resting upon leaves catch the pale morning light like tiny jewels. Long vines drape gracefully from overhead supports. Broad leaves create gentle layers of texture and shadow throughout the space. Everywhere the eye travels, there is evidence of quiet growth. Nothing appears hurried, nothing seems forced. Every plant follows its own natural pace, responding patiently to the conditions around it. Soon, the greenhouse gardener arrives for the day. He steps through the entrance carrying a lantern whose glow remains visible despite the growing daylight. For many years, this peaceful ritual has marked the beginning of his mornings. Before attending to any specific task, he pauses for a moment simply to observe the greenhouse. He listens to the soft rain striking the glass roof above. He notices the moisture resting upon the leaves. He breathes in the rich scent of soil, greenery, and warm air. These small moments of observation are never wasted. They allow him to understand the subtle changes that occur from one day to the next. Moving slowly along the pathways, he checks the condition of the plants that have become familiar companions through years of care. Some require watering, others need pruning or support. Many simply continue thriving beneath the protection of the greenhouse without asking for anything at all. The gardener approaches each task with patience. Plants do not respond well to haste. They teach a different understanding of time, one measured not in minutes or hours, but in seasons, growth, and gradual transformation. Meanwhile, the rain continues its gentle performance upon the glass above. The sound drifts throughout the greenhouse like a natural lullaby. Some drops arrive softly, others gather into small streams that slide down the panes before disappearing from view. Combined with the stillness of the plants and the warm atmosphere within the structure, the rain creates a sense of calm that feels almost impossible to disturb. As the morning slowly unfolds, sunlight attempts to break through the clouds beyond the glass roof. Occasionally, a brighter glow filters through the overcast sky, illuminating portions of the greenhouse with a soft silver light before fading once more. The changing brightness transforms the leaves, flowers, and pathways throughout the structure, creating subtle shifts in color and shadow that make the space feel quietly alive. And so the day begins within the Victorian greenhouse. The rain falls steadily overhead. The plants continue their patient growth. Warm air lingers beneath the glass roof. The gardener moves calmly among the pathways, tending his living collection with care and attention. Outside, the world remains cool and gray beneath the weather. Inside, a peaceful sanctuary flourishes, offering warmth, beauty, and the comforting reminder that some of life's most remarkable things grow slowly, quietly, and entirely in their own time. As the morning settles comfortably over the greenhouse, the rain continues its gentle conversation with the glass roof overhead. The sound is soft and consistent, never demanding attention, yet always present. Thousands of droplets arrive from the grey sky above, tapping lightly against the panes before joining tiny streams that wander slowly downward. From inside the greenhouse, the rain feels less like weather and more like music, a calm and reassuring presence accompanying every corner of the vast structure. The gardener moves quietly along one of the winding pathways that curves through the heart of the greenhouse. On either side, dense layers of greenery create the feeling of walking through a tropical forest rather than a carefully maintained Victorian garden. Tall palms stretch toward the ceiling far above. Ferns spread delicate fronds across shaded corners. Clusters of orchids bloom among branches and trellises, their petals displaying colors that seem almost luminous beneath the soft morning light. One of the remarkable features of these Victorian greenhouses was their ability to gather plants from vastly different parts of the world and allow them to flourish together beneath a single roof. During the 19th century, botanists, explorers and collectors traveled across oceans and continents in search of rare species. Seeds and young plants arrived from tropical rainforests, mountain valleys, remote islands and distant coastlines. Many of them would never have survived the cold climate outside, yet within the warmth of the greenhouse they found a second home. As the gardener walks deeper into the structure, the air becomes noticeably more humid. Tiny droplets of moisture cling to leaves and glass surfaces alike. The scent of damp earth rises gently from the soil, mingling with the subtle fragrance of flowers hidden among the greenery. It is an atmosphere that encourages relaxation almost immediately. The outside world feels distant here, separated by layers of glass, rain and growing things. Occasionally, the gardener pauses beside a particular plant to examine its progress, a new leaf slowly unfolding from the center of a fern, a vine extending a little farther than it had the day before, a flower preparing to bloom. These changes are often so gradual that they might go unnoticed by a casual visitor. Yet over weeks and months, they transform the greenhouse continuously. Growth here is rarely dramatic. It is patient, quiet, steady. The morning light filtering through the rain clouds creates beautiful patterns throughout the greenhouse. Brightness shifts gently as clouds drift across the sky above. Certain leaves glow emerald green for a few moments before returning to softer shades. Water droplets resting upon petals catch the light and briefly sparkle before falling to the soil below. The entire greenhouse seems to breathe with the changing light, responding to the weather beyond the glass without ever losing its sense of warmth and shelter. Nearby, a small ornamental pond rests among clusters of tropical plants. Its surface remains mostly still, disturbed only occasionally by a droplet falling from an overhanging leaf. The water reflects both the greenery above and the curved glass ceiling far overhead, creating a peaceful mirror that seems to double the size of the surrounding space. Small fish move lazily beneath the surface, adding another quiet layer of life to the greenhouse. And as the morning continues its gentle progression, the atmosphere remains wonderfully unchanged. The rain continues falling softly overhead. The plants continue their patient growth. The pathways remain quiet beneath the gardener's measured footsteps. Surrounded by warmth, moisture, and endless shades of green, the greenhouse feels less like a building and more like a sanctuary, a place where time slows naturally and every moment unfolds with calm and effortless grace. As the morning gradually drifts toward midday, the greenhouse becomes brighter, though the sun never fully reveals itself behind the thick blanket of clouds overhead. Instead, a soft silver light filters through the glass roof, spreading gently across the pathways and leaves below. The rain continues its patient descent from the sky, sometimes falling as a delicate mist, sometimes gathering enough strength to create a soothing cascade of droplets across the curved panes above. From within the greenhouse, the weather feels distant and comforting, like a beautiful scene observed from the safety of a warm room. The gardener continues his quiet routine, moving deeper into sections of the greenhouse that few visitors ever see. Beyond the grand displays and decorative pathways lie areas devoted entirely to cultivation and care. Here, rows of young plants rest in terracotta pots. Delicate seedlings emerge from dark soil. Climbing vines are carefully trained along wooden supports, guided gently toward the shapes they will eventually create. Everything within these hidden corners reflects patience. Nothing is expected to grow quickly. Every plant is given the time it needs. Victorian gardeners often spoke about observation as one of the most important skills in their work. A greenhouse could not simply be managed through schedules and routines alone. It required attention. Tiny changes in a leaf's color, the moisture of the soil, or the direction of new growth could reveal valuable information about the health of a plant. For this reason, many gardeners spent long periods simply walking through their collections, looking carefully and noticing details that others might overlook. The greenhouse rewarded those who moved slowly. As he follows one of the narrower pathways, the gardener passes beneath towering palms whose leaves form a canopy overhead. The sound of rain striking the glass becomes softer here, filtered through layers of greenery. Moisture hangs comfortably in the air, creating a feeling of warmth that seems entirely separate from the cool weather beyond the walls. It is easy to imagine being transported far from the rainy countryside outside and into a distant tropical landscape where lush vegetation stretches endlessly toward the horizon. Nearby, a collection of orchids rests upon carefully arranged shelves. Their blooms display remarkable shapes and colors, ranging from delicate whites and soft pinks to deep purples and vibrant golds. Some flowers appear almost impossibly intricate, their petals unfolding in patterns that seem more like artwork than nature. Yet within the greenhouse, they feel perfectly at home. Tiny droplets of moisture rest upon their petals, reflecting the pale daylight and adding to their quiet beauty. The longer one remains inside the greenhouse, the more noticeable its atmosphere becomes. The air feels softer, sounds arrive more gently. Even thoughts seem to slow their pace. Perhaps it is the combination of rain, warmth, and living greenery. Perhaps it is the absence of urgency. Whatever the reason, the greenhouse encourages a state of calm observation that feels increasingly rare in the outside world. The gardener eventually pauses beside a wooden bench positioned near one of the largest windows. From here, he can see both worlds at once. Beyond the glass, rain continues falling across the gardens and stone pathways outside. Within the greenhouse, tropical plants thrive in warmth and shelter. The contrast is beautiful. One world is cool, grey and drenched with rain. The other is lush, vibrant and filled with life. Yet neither feels separate from the other. The glass connects them, allowing each to enhance the beauty of the other. As midday approaches, the greenhouse remains wrapped in its familiar tranquility. Water continues to tap softly against the roof. Leaves glisten with moisture. The pathways wind peacefully through endless shades of green. The gardener moves slowly among the plants, tending them with care and attention. And beneath the vast glass ceiling, surrounded by rain, warmth, and quiet growth, time seems to flow as gently as the droplets sliding down the windows above. As midday settles gently over the greenhouse, the rain begins to change its rhythm. The steady pattern that accompanied the morning softens into a lighter drizzle, creating a delicate sound upon the glass roof that feels almost like a whisper. The clouds above remain thick and silver grey, allowing only a muted light to enter the structure. Yet this subdued brightness seems perfectly suited to the atmosphere within. The greenhouse was never a place designed for harsh sunlight. It thrives beneath softer conditions, where shadows blend gently with light and every leaf seems to glow from within. The gardener now finds himself in one of the oldest sections of the greenhouse, an area that has changed very little over the years. Here, large stone pathways wind between enormous tropical plants whose roots have occupied the same soil for decades. Some of these specimens arrived when the greenhouse itself was still young. Over time, they have grown into magnificent living structures, their leaves stretching high toward the glass ceiling and creating quiet green chambers beneath their canopies. Standing among them, it becomes easy to lose any sense of the outside world. The sounds of the village are completely absent here. Even the rain feels distant, softened by layers of foliage overhead. The only noticeable sounds are the occasional drip of water from a leaf, the faint rustling of greenery responding to subtle currents of air, and the quiet footsteps of the gardener moving slowly along the path. Together, these sounds create a peaceful stillness that feels almost meditative. One particularly remarkable feature of Victorian greenhouses was their ability to create environments that encouraged both scientific curiosity and simple wonder. Visitors often arrived expecting to see unusual plants from distant lands, but many left remembering something else entirely. They remembered the feeling, the warmth that greeted them upon entering, the scent of damp earth and growing things, the sensation of standing beneath exotic leaves while rain tapped gently against the glass overhead. These experiences lingered in memory long after the names of individual plants had been forgotten. The gardener pauses beside a large tree fern whose delicate fronds spread outward like a living umbrella. Tiny droplets of moisture rest along each branch, reflecting the muted daylight filtering through the roof above. The fern grows slowly, adding only a small amount of new growth each year. Yet over decades, those small changes have transformed it into one of the most impressive plants in the entire greenhouse. Looking at it, one is reminded that nature rarely hurries. Its greatest achievements are often the result of patience measured not in days or weeks, but in years. Nearby, a narrow pathway leads toward a quiet corner where climbing vines have gradually covered much of the surrounding structure. Their leaves create natural curtains that partially conceal a small seating area beneath the glass. It is the sort of place where a visitor might spend an hour reading a book while listening to the rain, completely unaware of how much time has passed. The greenhouse seems filled with such spaces, little pockets of tranquility where observation naturally replaces urgency. As the afternoon slowly approaches, the air remains comfortably warm and humid. Moisture continues to gather upon the glass roof before tracing gentle paths downward. The plants respond with quiet vitality, their leaves appearing fresh and vibrant beneath the filtered light. Every surface seems alive in some subtle way. Growth is taking place everywhere, though rarely in a manner that demands attention. It simply continues, patiently and continuously, as it always has. And so the day moves forward beneath the great glass roof. The rain persists softly overhead. The gardener continues his quiet work among leaves, flowers, and winding pathways. The greenhouse remains a sanctuary of warmth, surrounded by cool weather and gray skies. Within its walls, every detail encourages stillness, and every passing moment feels like an invitation to slow down, breathe deeply, and appreciate the gentle beauty of things that grow at their own pace. As the afternoon continues its gentle journey beneath the glass roof, the greenhouse seems to settle into an even deeper sense of calm. The rain remains present, though it now falls with a lighter touch than it did earlier in the day. Soft droplets gather upon the curved panes overhead, tracing slow paths downward before disappearing into hidden channels along the structure. The sound is delicate and rhythmic, blending so naturally with the atmosphere that it feels less like weather and more like part of the greenhouse itself. The gardener follows one of the longest pathways through the conservatory, moving at the same unhurried pace that has guided his work for many years. Around him, the greenhouse unfolds like a living landscape. Tall palms create gentle shadows overhead. Flowering plants add small bursts of color among endless shades of green. Ferns soften the edges of stone pathways, while climbing vines wrap themselves gracefully around iron supports and wooden trellises. Everywhere there is evidence of care, patience, and time. One of the great pleasures of a Victorian greenhouse was the opportunity to experience different worlds without ever leaving the shelter of the glass. A visitor could walk from collections of tropical plants into sections inspired by distant mountains, then continue into areas filled with species gathered from humid forests and remote islands. The journey was not measured in miles, but in atmosphere. Every turn of a pathway revealed something new, while maintaining the same feeling of quiet wonder that filled the entire structure. The gardener pauses beside a citrus tree growing within a large terracotta container. Tiny droplets of moisture cling to its glossy leaves, and a faint fragrance lingers in the warm air around it. Nearby, clusters of flowering plants release their own subtle scents, creating an atmosphere that feels rich without ever becoming overwhelming. The greenhouse is full of such details. They reveal themselves slowly to anyone willing to move carefully and pay attention. Above, the muted daylight filtering through the clouds begins to soften even further. Afternoon is gradually moving toward evening. The silver light that has illuminated the greenhouse throughout the day becomes warmer, touching leaves and flowers with gentle golden tones. The transformation is subtle but unmistakable. Shadows lengthen, reflections shift upon the glass. The entire structure seems to prepare itself for the quieter hours that lie ahead. The gardener eventually reaches a small seating area positioned beneath a canopy of large tropical leaves. Here, surrounded by greenery and protected from the weather outside, he allows himself a brief moment of rest. From this sheltered corner, he can hear the rain striking the roof above, the occasional drip of water falling from leaf to leaf, and the faint rustling of plants responding to tiny movements in the air. There is nothing dramatic about the scene. No grand event is taking place, yet it feels remarkably peaceful. Perhaps that is one of the greenhouse's greatest gifts. It transforms ordinary moments into experiences worth noticing. A droplet of water sliding across a leaf, a beam of light shifting through the clouds, the slow unfurling of a fern. These small details might easily go unnoticed elsewhere, yet within the greenhouse they become part of a larger rhythm, one that encourages observation rather than distraction. As the afternoon slowly begins yielding to the approach of evening, the atmosphere remains warm, humid, and comforting. The rain continues its gentle song overhead. The plants continue their patient growth. The pathways remain quiet beneath the gardener's measured footsteps, and beneath the vast canopy of glass and greenery, the greenhouse continues offering what it has offered throughout the day: shelter, beauty, and the simple pleasure of slowing down enough to notice the world unfolding one gentle moment at a time. As evening begins its slow arrival, the greenhouse takes on an entirely different character. Throughout the day, it has been a place of gentle brightness, where silver light filtered through clouds and rain traced soft patterns across the glass roof. Now, however, the daylight gradually begins to fade. The sky beyond the panes grows darker with each passing hour, and the rain that has accompanied the entire day continues to fall beneath a deepening blanket of grey. The transition is so gradual that it feels almost invisible, yet the atmosphere changes in subtle and beautiful ways. The warm interior of the greenhouse becomes increasingly distinct from the cool world outside. Condensation gathers along sections of the glass, blurring the view of distant gardens and stone pathways. Beyond the walls, the landscape slowly dissolves into mist, rain, and gathering shadows. Inside, however, the plants remain vibrant and alive. Moisture glistens upon broad leaves. Flowers continue to bloom among the greenery. The air remains warm and fragrant, carrying the rich scent of damp soil, moss, and growing things. The gardener begins preparing the greenhouse for evening. His movements remain calm and unhurried, guided by routines repeated over countless seasons. He walks the pathways one final time, checking delicate plants that may require attention before nightfall. Some receive a little water, others are gently repositioned to ensure they receive the proper balance of light and warmth. Most need nothing at all. They simply continue growing quietly within the environment that has been carefully created for them. As the daylight weakens, lanterns begin appearing throughout the greenhouse. One by one, small pools of amber light emerge among the greenery. Their glow reflects softly from wet leaves and glass surfaces, creating a magical atmosphere that feels almost dreamlike. Shadows gather beneath towering palms, while warm light illuminates winding pathways and hidden corners. The contrast between the cool, blue-gray world outside and the golden warmth within becomes increasingly beautiful. Victorian visitors often considered evening the most enchanting time to explore a greenhouse. During the day, the structure was impressive. At night, it felt extraordinary. Lantern light transformed ordinary leaves into elegant silhouettes. Moisture upon the glass reflected countless points of warm light. Exotic plants seemed even more mysterious beneath the shadows. Every pathway appeared to lead deeper into a quiet and secluded world where nature and architecture existed in perfect harmony. The rain overhead responds beautifully to the changing atmosphere. As darkness gathers beyond the roof, the sound becomes more noticeable. Without the distractions of daylight, every droplet seems clearer. Some strike the glass with soft taps. Others gather into tiny streams that wander slowly downward. The entire roof becomes a vast instrument, performing a gentle and endlessly changing composition, created entirely by rain and gravity. The gardener eventually pauses beside the ornamental pond near the center of the greenhouse. The water reflects the lanterns above, creating shimmering pools of gold that dance softly upon its surface. Broad leaves extend over the water's edge, their reflections blending with the moving light. Small fish drift lazily beneath the surface, their movements almost invisible in the dim glow. The scene is so peaceful that it feels suspended outside the ordinary passage of time. As evening settles more deeply over the greenhouse, the outside world fades further into darkness. The rain continues falling beyond the glass. Mist drifts quietly through the gardens beyond. Yet within this warm sanctuary, lanterns glow among tropical leaves. Flowers release their subtle fragrance into the air, and every pathway invites slow and thoughtful wandering. And so another chapter of the day begins beneath the great Victorian greenhouse. The rain continues its gentle song. The lanterns cast their warm light across endless shades of green. The gardener moves quietly among the plants, and as darkness settles beyond the glass walls, the greenhouse becomes more comforting than ever, offering shelter, warmth, and a peaceful refuge from the rainy evening beyond. As night settles more fully over the greenhouse, the world beyond the glass gradually disappears into darkness. The distant gardens that were visible throughout the day now exist only as faint silhouettes beneath the rain. Stone pathways fade into shadow, Trees become soft shapes outlined by occasional reflections upon the wet ground. The weather continues its patient work beyond the greenhouse walls, but from inside it feels wonderfully distant. The glass roof and warm interior transform the storm into something comforting, allowing its beauty to be appreciated without any of its discomfort. Within the greenhouse, the lanterns now provide most of the illumination. Their golden glow spreads gently across leaves, flowers, and pathways, creating an atmosphere that feels almost magical. Every droplet of moisture resting upon a leaf catches the light for a moment before releasing it again. Broad tropical plants cast elegant shadows across stone floors. Climbing vines appear to emerge from darkness before disappearing once more into the warm amber glow. The greenhouse feels larger at night, its pathways seeming to wander endlessly through layers of greenery and light. The gardener moves quietly through this peaceful landscape, carrying a small lantern as he follows one of the winding paths deeper into the conservatory. At this hour, there are no tasks demanding immediate attention. Most of his work has already been completed. Instead, he walks slowly, observing the greenhouse as one might stroll through a familiar garden. These moments have become one of his favorite parts of the day. The evening allows him to experience the greenhouse not as a place of responsibility, but as a place of quiet companionship. Everywhere around him, life continues in subtle ways. Tiny droplets form upon the edges of leaves before falling silently to the soil below. Night-blooming flowers begin to open beneath the warm air of the conservatory. Vines continue their gradual climb along iron supports. Growth never truly stops here. It simply becomes quieter, unfolding at a pace so gentle that it can only be noticed through patience and time. The rain overhead grows slightly heavier for a while, creating a richer sound against the glass roof. Thousands of droplets arrive together, forming a soothing pattern that fills the greenhouse from end to end. The sound echoes softly through the structure, blending with the stillness of the plants and the warm glow of the lanterns. There is something deeply reassuring about listening to rain from within a sheltered space. It reminds us that comfort does not come from avoiding the weather entirely, but from finding a place where we can observe it peacefully. The gardener eventually arrives at a section of the greenhouse devoted to tropical orchids. During the day, their colors draw attention immediately. At night, however, their beauty becomes more subtle. The lantern light reveals delicate textures within the petals, highlighting details that bright sunlight often hides. Soft whites glow gently against the darkness. Pale pinks and golds appear almost luminous. The flowers seem perfectly suited to the quiet atmosphere of the evening. Nearby, a small fountain continues its gentle movement. Water rises slowly before returning to the basin below, creating a soft sound that blends naturally with the rainfall above. The combination is remarkably calming. Rain upon glass, water upon stone, leaves shifting almost imperceptibly within the warm air. Every sound belongs to the same peaceful rhythm. As the evening deepens, the greenhouse feels increasingly removed from the outside world. The darkness beyond the glass becomes complete, leaving only reflections of lantern light and greenery visible upon the windows. The rain continues falling steadily. The warm air remains rich with the scent of soil and growing plants. The pathways stretch quietly through the conservatory, inviting slow wandering and gentle observation. And so the night continues beneath the great Victorian greenhouse. The lanterns glow softly among tropical leaves. The rain sings its endless song upon the glass overhead. The gardener walks peacefully through a world of warmth, moisture, and quiet beauty. Surrounded by growing things and sheltered from the darkness beyond, the greenhouse becomes what it was always meant to be, a sanctuary where nature, light and rain exist together in perfect harmony. As the evening drifts deeper into night, the greenhouse settles into a remarkable stillness. The rain continues falling beyond the glass roof, but its rhythm has softened once again, becoming a gentle backdrop to the quiet life unfolding within. Lanterns glow warmly along the pathways, their light reflecting from wet leaves and creating small pools of amber among the greenery. The atmosphere feels calm and sheltered, as though the greenhouse exists within its own peaceful world, untouched by the passing hours outside. The gardener now moves more slowly than before, no longer focused on tasks, but simply enjoying the company of the greenhouse itself. Years of caring for these plants have created a familiarity that feels almost like friendship. He knows where certain flowers bloom earliest, where the largest ferns gather moisture, and where the scent of citrus leaves lingers longest in the evening air. Walking these pathways has become as natural as breathing, and each turn reveals details that remain quietly beautiful, no matter how many times they are seen. In one corner of the conservatory, large tropical leaves overlap to form a canopy of deep green shadows. Beneath them, smaller plants thrive in the warm humidity, creating layers of texture and color that seem endless. Tiny droplets cling to every surface, occasionally slipping from one leaf to another before disappearing into the soil below. The sound is so soft that it blends almost seamlessly with the rain overhead. Victorian greenhouses were often described as living collections, but at night they feel less like collections and more like landscapes. The lantern light softens the boundaries between cultivated garden and natural wilderness. Pathways disappear briefly behind clusters of foliage. Vines emerge from darkness and climb toward the roof. Every section seems to invite quiet exploration, encouraging visitors to slow their pace and simply observe. The gardener pauses beside a bench positioned near one of the tallest glass walls. Beyond it, rain slides slowly down the panes, distorting the faint outlines of trees and garden paths outside. The view is blurred and dreamlike, yet deeply comforting. There is something reassuring about watching weather from a place of warmth and shelter. The rain continues its journey across the night, while inside the greenhouse, everything remains calm and protected. As the hours pass, the contrast between inside and outside becomes even more noticeable. Beyond the glass lies cool darkness and drifting rain. Within the conservatory, warmth lingers among palms, orchids and ferns. The lanterns continue glowing softly. Moist air carries the scent of leaves and damp earth. Every detail contributes to an atmosphere designed not for urgency, but for rest. And so the night continues beneath the great glass roof. The rain falls gently overhead. The lanterns cast their golden glow across endless shades of green. The gardener walks quietly among the pathways, accompanied by nothing more than the soft sounds of water, leaves, and the peaceful rhythm of a greenhouse settling comfortably into the heart of the evening. As the night matures and the greenhouse settles into its quietest hours, the atmosphere becomes even more peaceful. The rain continues its gentle descent across the glass roof, creating a soft and steady sound that seems to wrap itself around every plant, pathway, and lantern. Outside, the gardens have disappeared completely into darkness, leaving only occasional reflections upon the rain-covered glass. Inside, however, the conservatory remains warm, luminous, and alive with quiet beauty. The lanterns now serve as small islands of light scattered throughout the greenhouse. Their glow illuminates clusters of orchids, winding vines, and broad tropical leaves that seem almost golden beneath the warm illumination. Shadows move softly among the foliage, creating a sense of depth that makes the greenhouse feel larger than it truly is. Every pathway appears to lead somewhere peaceful, disappearing briefly behind greenery before reappearing beneath another lantern further ahead. The gardener has finished his work for the evening, yet he is in no hurry to leave. Instead, he takes one final walk through the conservatory, enjoying the atmosphere that emerges only at this hour. The greenhouse feels different at night. During the day, it is a place of growth and care. In the evening, it becomes a sanctuary. The plants seem calmer somehow. The rain feels softer. Even the air carries a deeper sense of stillness. As he moves along the pathways, he notices familiar details illuminated by lantern light. A fern whose delicate fronds catch tiny droplets of moisture. A flowering vine slowly climbing an iron support. A collection of orchids glowing softly against the darkness behind them. None of these sights are dramatic. Their beauty comes from their simplicity, from the way they quietly exist without asking for attention. The rain overhead briefly becomes heavier, and for a few minutes, the glass roof resonates with a richer pattern of sound. Thousands of droplets arrive together before gradually easing once more into a gentle drizzle. The greenhouse responds beautifully. Moisture glistens upon leaves. Reflections shimmer along the pathways. The warm interior feels even more comforting in contrast to the cool weather beyond the glass. Eventually, the gardener pauses near the center of the conservatory, beside the ornamental pond. The surface of the water reflects both the lanterns and the curved roof high above, creating a peaceful mirror of light and shadow. Small ripples move slowly across the water whenever a droplet falls from an overhanging leaf. The scene is calm, balanced, and wonderfully unhurried. As the evening continues, the greenhouse seems content simply to exist within the rhythm of the rain. The plants continue their quiet growth. The lanterns glow steadily. The warm air remains filled with the scent of earth, leaves, and flowers. Nothing needs to happen. Nothing needs to change. The beauty of the moment comes from its stillness. And so the night deepens beneath the great Victorian greenhouse. Rain traces gentle paths across the glass overhead. Lantern light rests softly upon endless shades of green. The gardener lingers a little longer among the pathways before finally preparing to leave the conservatory to its peaceful nighttime rhythm. Behind him, the greenhouse remains exactly as it has all evening, warm, sheltered, and filled with the quiet comfort of glass, rain, and growing things. The following morning arrives beneath the same blanket of gentle rain that has accompanied the greenhouse throughout the night. Long before the surrounding gardens awaken, soft daylight begins filtering through the glass roof, turning the darkness above into shades of silver and pale gray. The lanterns still glow faintly among the plants, though their warm light gradually becomes less necessary as morning slowly settles over the conservatory. Inside, the greenhouse feels wonderfully unchanged. Moisture still rests upon broad leaves. Tiny droplets cling to vines and flowers. The warm air remains rich with the scent of damp earth and growing things. While the world outside has passed through another night, the greenhouse seems to have simply continued its quiet rhythm, allowing life to unfold at its own gentle pace. As daylight strengthens, the rain creates beautiful patterns upon the glass overhead. Some droplets gather into winding streams that slowly trace their way downward. Others remain suspended for a moment before joining the journey. The muted morning light shining through them creates shifting reflections across the pathways and foliage below, giving the entire greenhouse a soft and dreamlike quality. Soon, the gardener returns. As always, his arrival is calm and unhurried. He steps through the entrance and pauses briefly, taking in the familiar atmosphere. The sound of rain greets him first. Then comes the scent of leaves and damp soil. Finally, his eyes move across the greenery, noticing the countless small details that have changed during the night. A flower that has fully opened, a new leaf beginning to unfurl, a vine extending slightly farther along its support. These changes are subtle, yet they are among the gardener's favorite parts of the morning. The greenhouse teaches a unique appreciation for gradual progress. Nothing transforms overnight, yet everything is constantly changing. Growth occurs quietly, often unnoticed until one pauses long enough to observe it. Outside, the rain continues drifting across the gardens and pathways surrounding the greenhouse. Yet from within, the weather feels comforting rather than gloomy. The glass walls transform the rain into part of the experience, allowing it to become a source of atmosphere rather than inconvenience. The sound fills the conservatory gently, creating a soothing backdrop to every movement and every moment. As the morning slowly unfolds, the greenhouse once again becomes a sanctuary of warmth, surrounded by cool weather and grey skies. The rain continues its patient song overhead. The plants continue their quiet growth. The gardener moves peacefully among them, and beneath the vast roof of glass and iron, another beautiful day begins, carried forward by the same calm rhythm that has guided the greenhouse through countless mornings before. The gardener follows a familiar route through the greenhouse, moving slowly between collections of plants gathered from distant parts of the world. Over the years, these pathways have become as familiar to him as the rooms of a home. He knows where the largest palms create cool pockets of shade, where the orchids bloom most beautifully, and where the scent of citrus leaves becomes strongest after a morning of rain. Yet despite this familiarity, the greenhouse never feels repetitive. Every day reveals something new, however small. In one section of the conservatory, moisture has gathered heavily upon the broad leaves of tropical plants. Tiny droplets rest along their edges, occasionally falling to the soil below with a sound so soft it is almost impossible to hear. The leaves themselves seem to glow beneath the filtered daylight, displaying countless shades of green that shift subtly as clouds move across the sky overhead. The longer one looks, the more details appear. Veins running through leaves, new shoots emerging from the soil, delicate flowers hidden beneath larger foliage. Victorian visitors often describe greenhouses as places where time seemed to move differently. Surrounded by growing plants and sheltered from the weather, people naturally slowed their pace. Conversations became quieter, walks became longer. Attention drifted away from schedules and towards simple observations. The greenhouse encouraged patience without ever asking for it directly. The gardener pauses beside a collection of ferns that have thrived here for many years. Their fronds arch gracefully outward, creating layers of texture that seem almost endless. Water droplets cling to every surface, reflecting the soft daylight in tiny flashes of silver. Looking at them, it becomes difficult to imagine any reason to hurry. The ferns have spent years becoming what they are. They offer a quiet reminder that growth often happens most beautifully when allowed to unfold naturally. Beyond the glass walls, the rain continues its steady journey across the gardens. Stone pathways glisten beneath the grey sky. Trees sway gently in the distance, yet inside, warmth remains constant. The conservatory feels protected from the cool weather while still connected to it, allowing every sound and every shift in light to become part of the experience. As midday approaches, the greenhouse settles into a peaceful balance between rain, light, and growth. The gardener continues his quiet routine among the pathways. Moisture gathers and falls from leaves. The air remains rich with the scent of earth and greenery. And beneath the great glass roof, another calm hour unfolds, carrying with it the same sense of comfort and stillness that has always defined this remarkable place. As midday gently gives way to the early afternoon, the atmosphere inside the greenhouse becomes even more tranquil. The rain continues to fall beyond the glass roof, though now it arrives in soft waves, sometimes becoming little more than a mist before gathering strength again. The changing rhythm creates subtle variations in sound throughout the conservatory, transforming the roof into a vast instrument played by weather and time. The gardener finds himself drawn toward one of the quieter sections of the greenhouse, a place where fewer visitors tend to linger. Here, winding pathways curve between dense arrangements of greenery, creating secluded corners filled with soft shadows and filtered light. Large leaves overlap one another, forming natural walls that give the impression of walking through a hidden garden rather than a carefully designed structure. The air feels especially warm in this part of the conservatory. Moisture hangs comfortably among the plants, softening every scent and sound. The fragrance of damp soil rises gently from beneath the foliage, mingling with faint hints of flowers blooming quietly among the leaves. It is the kind of atmosphere that encourages stillness. Even footsteps seem quieter here, absorbed by the warmth and greenery surrounding the path. As he walks, the gardener notices a vine that has extended itself a little farther since the previous week. Its new growth is small, almost insignificant at first glance, yet it represents the quiet miracle that unfolds throughout the greenhouse every day. Growth here is rarely dramatic. It happens patiently, one leaf at a time, one root at a time, one gentle movement toward the light. The greenhouse rewards those who pay attention to small things. Above, the muted daylight shifts as clouds move slowly across the sky. Brief moments of brightness pass through the glass ceiling, illuminating sections of the conservatory before fading once more into softer tones. Leaves glow emerald green for a few moments. Water droplets sparkle like tiny crystals. Then the light changes again, returning everything to the calm, silver atmosphere that has defined the day. Near the center of this secluded section stands a wooden bench that has become one of the gardener's favorite places to pause. From here, he can listen to the rain overhead while observing the slow life of the greenhouse unfolding around him. There is no urgency in the scene. A droplet slides from one leaf to another. A flower opens slightly wider than it had been earlier. A fern shifts almost imperceptibly beneath its own weight. Every movement feels unhurried and natural. The Victorian era often celebrated grand discoveries and ambitious achievements, yet places like this greenhouse offered something equally valuable. They provided opportunities to simply observe, to sit quietly among growing things, to notice how light changes throughout the day, to listen to rain without needing to be anywhere else. In many ways, The greenhouse served as a reminder that not every meaningful experience requires action. Sometimes it is enough to be present. As the afternoon continues, the conservatory remains wrapped in warmth and gentle sound. Rain traces slow paths across the glass roof. The pathways wind peacefully through endless layers of green. The gardener moves quietly among the plants, content to let the day unfold at its own pace. And beneath the great Victorian greenhouse, surrounded by rain, light and growing things, time seems to slow just enough to reveal the beauty hidden within ordinary moments. As the afternoon slowly approaches evening once more, the greenhouse seems to settle into a deeper sense of quiet. The silver light that has filled the conservatory throughout the day begins to soften, taking on warmer tones as it filters through the clouds overhead. The rain continues its patient rhythm against the glass roof, neither growing stronger nor fading away completely. It simply remains, a constant and comforting presence that has accompanied every hour of the day. The gardener continues his unhurried walk through the pathways, pausing occasionally to observe a plant or adjust a support for a climbing vine. There is no sense of rushing toward the end of the day. The greenhouse does not encourage such thoughts. Within these walls, every hour feels connected to the next, flowing naturally like water moving through a quiet stream. Morning became afternoon without effort, and now afternoon slowly prepares to become evening. The changing light creates beautiful effects throughout the conservatory. Leaves that appeared bright green earlier now glow with hints of gold and amber. Moisture resting upon flowers catches the softer light and reflects it gently. The glass roof above seems almost luminous, transforming the grey sky beyond into a vast canopy of muted color. Everywhere the eye travels, there is a sense of calm transition. Near one of the larger windows, the gardener pauses to look out at the rain-soaked gardens surrounding the greenhouse. Stone pathways curve through beds of wet flowers and shrubs. Trees stand quietly beneath the cloudy sky, their branches darkened by moisture. Small puddles reflect the fading daylight. The entire landscape appears peaceful, softened by rain and distance. Yet rather than feeling separate from the greenhouse, it feels connected to it. The glass creates a boundary, but not a division. The weather remains part of the experience. Returning his attention to the conservatory, the gardener notices how the plants respond to the changing day. Some flowers begin to close slightly as evening approaches. Others seem to brighten beneath the softer light. Ferns and palms remain timeless in their appearance, their graceful forms unchanged by the passing hours. Together, they create a living landscape that feels remarkably balanced, neither wild nor controlled, but gently guided by care and patience. The sound of water remains the constant thread tying everything together. Rain upon glass, droplets falling from leaves, moisture gathering and slipping quietly into the soil. These sounds blend into a natural rhythm that fills the greenhouse without ever overwhelming it. The longer one listens, the more relaxing it becomes, as though the conservatory itself is encouraging the mind to slow down and rest. As evening draws nearer, the first lanterns begin to glow once again among the pathways. Their warm light appears gradually beneath the gathering shadows, creating small pockets of gold among the greenery. The contrast between the cool grey world outside and the inviting warmth within becomes more noticeable with every passing minute. The greenhouse begins its transformation from a daytime garden into a nighttime sanctuary. And so another peaceful afternoon comes gently to a close beneath the great Victorian greenhouse. The rain continues its soft song overhead. The plants remain vibrant beneath the changing light. The gardener moves quietly among familiar pathways, And as lanterns begin to illuminate the conservatory once more, the greenhouse prepares for another evening of warmth, shelter, and quiet beauty beneath the glass and rain. As evening settles gently over the greenhouse once again, the transformation feels almost magical. The daylight that lingered throughout the afternoon gradually fades behind thick clouds and falling rain, while the lanterns scattered throughout the conservatory begin to take their place as the primary source of light. Their warm glow spreads softly across the pathways, illuminating leaves, flowers, and glass with a comforting amber warmth that seems to embrace every corner of the structure. Outside, the rain continues its steady journey through the darkening landscape. The surrounding gardens become silhouettes beyond the glass walls, their details gradually dissolving into mist and shadow. Yet inside the greenhouse, the atmosphere grows warmer and more inviting with every passing moment. Moisture glistens upon leaves. Vines cast delicate shadows against stone pathways. The scent of damp earth lingers in the air, creating an environment that feels both alive and deeply peaceful. The gardener lights the final lantern near the far end of the conservatory before beginning a slow walk through the evening pathways. At this hour, there is very little work left to do. The plants have been cared for. The greenhouse is comfortable and secure. What remains is simply the pleasure of being present within this remarkable space as it settles into the night. The lantern light reveals details that often go unnoticed during the day. Tiny droplets resting on leaves appear like small jewels. Orchid petals glow softly against the darkness behind them. Large tropical plants create layers of shadow and light that make the greenhouse feel wonderfully expansive. Every section of the conservatory seems transformed by the arrival of evening, becoming quieter, softer, and somehow more intimate. As he walks, the gardener passes the ornamental pond near the center of the greenhouse. The water now reflects dozens of small points of lantern light, creating shimmering patterns that move gently across its surface. Occasionally, a droplet falls from an overhanging leaf and sends delicate ripples outward, briefly distorting the reflections before calm returns once again. It is a simple scene, yet one that perfectly captures the atmosphere of the greenhouse at night. The rain overhead becomes slightly more noticeable as darkness deepens beyond the glass roof. Without the distractions of daylight, every sound seems clearer. The steady tapping of droplets upon glass blends beautifully with the quiet stillness of the conservatory. The result is neither silence nor noise, but something comfortably between the two, a peaceful rhythm that encourages relaxation and reflection. As the evening continues, the greenhouse feels increasingly separated from the outside world. The rain remains visible, the weather remains present, yet within the warm glow of the lanterns, there is only comfort, shelter, and the quiet company of growing things. The pathways stretch gently through the greenery, inviting slow wandering and unhurried observation. And so another evening begins beneath the great Victorian greenhouse. The lanterns glow warmly among the leaves. The rain continues its soft song upon the glass overhead. The gardener moves peacefully through the conservatory, accompanied by little more than the sounds of water, warmth, and quiet growth. Within this sanctuary of glass and rain, the night unfolds exactly as it should, one calm and beautiful moment at a time. As the evening deepens, the greenhouse becomes a world of light, shadow, and gentle rain. The lanterns continue to glow steadily among the plants, their reflections appearing upon wet leaves and glass surfaces throughout the conservatory. Beyond the roof, the sky has become a deep shade of blue-gray, and the rain drifts through the darkness with the same calm persistence that has accompanied the greenhouse since the beginning of the day. Inside, the atmosphere feels wonderfully unchanged. Warm air lingers among the pathways. Moisture gathers softly upon leaves and flowers. The scent of earth, moss and greenery fills the conservatory, creating a sense of comfort that seems to grow stronger as the night progresses. Every element of the greenhouse works together to create a feeling of shelter, as though the structure itself has been designed to protect calm and quiet from the outside world. The gardener follows a pathway lined with ferns, whose fronds arch gracefully over the edges of the stone walkway. Beneath the lantern light, the delicate patterns of the leaves become even more noticeable. Tiny droplets rest along their edges, catching the warm glow before disappearing into the shadows below. It is remarkable how many small details reveal themselves at night, details that often remain hidden during the brighter hours of the day. Nearby, a collection of flowering plants fills the air with a subtle fragrance. Their blooms seem almost luminous against the darker surroundings, creating small islands of color among the endless greenery. Some flowers are beginning to close for the night, while others open more fully beneath the warmth of the greenhouse. The conservatory follows its own rhythm after sunset, one shaped not by clocks or schedules, but by light, temperature, and the quiet needs of living things. The rain overhead briefly becomes heavier, creating a richer sound across the glass roof. Thousands of droplets arrive together, forming a soothing pattern that spreads throughout the structure. The gardener pauses for a moment simply to listen. There is something deeply relaxing about rain when experienced from a place of warmth and comfort. The weather remains close enough to be appreciated, yet distant enough to feel gentle rather than demanding. As he continues his walk, he reaches a section of the greenhouse where climbing vines have gradually transformed iron supports into living walls of greenery. The lantern light filters through the leaves, creating shifting patterns upon the pathway below. The effect is beautiful and calming, giving the impression of wandering through a quiet forest, illuminated only by scattered lights. The longer the evening continues, the more the outside world seems to fade away. The rain-covered gardens beyond the glass are now little more than soft shapes hidden within darkness. Inside, however, every pathway remains inviting. Every lantern continues to glow. Every plant contributes to the atmosphere of quiet abundance that defines the greenhouse. And so the night moves forward beneath the great glass roof. Rain traces gentle paths across the panes overhead. Lantern light rests softly upon leaves and flowers. The gardener walks peacefully through the conservatory, surrounded by warmth, moisture, and growing things. Within this sanctuary of glass and rain, there is no need to hurry, only the simple pleasure of observing a beautiful world unfold at its own gentle pace. As the night settles comfortably over the greenhouse, a deep sense of tranquility fills the conservatory. The rain has returned to a softer rhythm now, tapping gently against the glass roof, while thin streams of water trace winding paths down the panes. The sound seems to come from everywhere at once, surrounding the greenhouse in a peaceful blanket of gentle noise that makes the warm interior feel even more inviting. The lanterns continue to glow steadily among the greenery, casting warm reflections across leaves polished by moisture. In some places, the light reaches deep into the foliage, revealing layers of texture and color. In others, it fades into soft shadows, where large palms and climbing vines create quiet corners hidden from view. The balance between light and darkness gives the greenhouse a dreamlike quality, transforming familiar pathways into scenes that feel almost timeless. The gardener pauses beside a collection of tropical plants gathered from distant parts of the world. During the day, their shapes and colors draw attention immediately. At night, however, their presence feels different. The details become softer. The atmosphere becomes more important than individual specimens. What stands out is not a particular flower or leaf, but the feeling of being surrounded by living things, thriving peacefully beneath glass and rain. The warm air remains rich with the scent of earth and greenery. Every breath carries traces of damp soil, moss and leaves that have absorbed moisture throughout the day. It is a fragrance impossible to recreate elsewhere, one that belongs entirely to places where plants, water and time coexist in quiet harmony. The greenhouse seems to hold this atmosphere carefully, preserving it within its glass walls while the rain continues falling beyond. As he continues his walk, the gardener notices how still everything has become. The pathways are empty, the leaves barely move. Even the rain seems calmer now, as though the weather itself has settled into the rhythm of the night. A droplet falls from a hanging vine. Another slips quietly from the edge of a fern. These tiny movements feel significant simply because the rest of the greenhouse is so peaceful. Near the center of the conservatory, the ornamental pond reflects the lantern light with remarkable clarity. The surface appears almost perfectly still, interrupted only occasionally by a falling droplet that creates gentle ripples spreading outward in widening circles. The reflections of leaves, lanterns, and glass merge together upon the water, creating a scene that feels both simple and endlessly fascinating to observe. Victorian visitors often describe greenhouses as places where ordinary concerns seem to fade away for a while. Surrounded by rain, warmth, and growing things, it became easier to focus on the present moment. The greenhouse encouraged observation rather than distraction. It invited people to notice the play of light upon a leaf, the sound of water upon glass, or the gradual unfolding of a flower. These small experiences carried a quiet beauty that required nothing more than attention. And as the evening continues its gentle journey toward the later hours of the night, the greenhouse remains wrapped in the same comforting atmosphere. The rain falls softly overhead. The lanterns glow among the leaves. Warm air lingers throughout the conservatory. The gardener moves slowly along the pathways, content to share another peaceful hour with the plants, the rain, and the timeless calm that fills this remarkable sanctuary beneath glass. As the night moves toward its quietest hours, the greenhouse seems to settle into a profound sense of peace. The rain continues falling beyond the glass roof, though now its rhythm has become softer and more delicate, like a distant lullaby drifting through the darkness. The lanterns remain lit throughout the conservatory, their warm glow resting gently upon leaves, flowers, and pathways that appear almost suspended between dream and reality. The gardener slows his pace even further as he makes his final walk through the greenhouse for the evening. There is little left to do. The plants are thriving. The atmosphere remains warm and balanced. The rain provides all the music the night could possibly need. What remains is simply the pleasure of being present within this extraordinary place, while the world outside grows quieter with every passing hour. Along the pathways, moisture continues to gather upon broad leaves before slipping gently toward the soil below. Tiny reflections shimmer wherever lantern light touches water. Climbing vines cast elegant shadows against glass and stone. The greenhouse feels less like a building now and more like a living landscape protected beneath a transparent sky. Every detail contributes to a feeling of comfort that seems to deepen as the night progresses. The ornamental pond near the center of the conservatory has become almost perfectly still. Its dark surface reflects lanterns, leaves, and sections of the glass roof above, creating a peaceful mirror that doubles the beauty of the surrounding space. Occasionally, a droplet falls from an overhanging leaf, sending small ripples across the water before calm returns once again. The movement is brief and gentle, serving only to emphasize the stillness surrounding it. The gardener pauses beside the pond and listens. The rain overhead, the faint sound of water moving somewhere among the plants, the occasional drip from a leaf. Nothing more. The greenhouse asks for very little at this hour. It does not demand attention. It simply offers a place where quiet things can exist peacefully together. Beyond the glass walls, the gardens have disappeared almost completely into darkness. The rain continues falling across pathways, flower beds and trees hidden beyond view. Yet the greenhouse remains bright and welcoming, its warmth creating a comforting contrast with the cool night outside. It is easy to understand why Victorian visitors found such places enchanting. They offered a rare opportunity to remain connected to nature while sheltered from the weather, allowing rain, mist and darkness to become sources of beauty rather than discomfort. The lantern light grows softer as the evening continues. Large palms create graceful silhouettes against the glass. Orchids glow faintly among the shadows. Ferns arch over pathways worn smooth by years of quiet footsteps. Everything feels settled. Everything feels exactly where it belongs. And so another peaceful evening unfolds beneath the great Victorian greenhouse. The rain continues its gentle song upon the glass overhead. Warm air carries the scent of earth and growing things through the conservatory. The gardener lingers a little longer among the pathways, reluctant to leave such a tranquil atmosphere behind. Around him, the plants continue their silent growth, the lanterns continue their warm glow, and the greenhouse remains what it has been all day, a sanctuary of comfort, beauty and calm beneath the endless rhythm of glass and rain. Sometime during the night, the rain eases into a fine mist, and by the time the next morning arrives, the greenhouse feels wrapped in an even gentler atmosphere. The glass roof above is covered with countless droplets that catch the pale daylight and scatter it softly throughout the conservatory. There is no direct sunlight, only a quiet silver brightness that settles across leaves, pathways and flowers like a delicate veil. The greenhouse seems especially peaceful at this hour. The air remains warm from the previous day, while the moisture gathered during the night lingers upon every surface. Broad tropical leaves glisten with tiny beads of water. Ferns appear fresh and vibrant beneath the diffused light. Even the stone pathways seem softened by the humid atmosphere, their edges blending naturally into the surrounding greenery. As he enters for another day, the gardener pauses for a moment beside the doorway. He has performed this simple ritual countless times over the years, yet it never loses its meaning. Before beginning any task, he allows himself a few moments simply to observe. The sound of water, the scent of damp soil, the quality of the light filtering through the glass. These small details help him understand the mood of the greenhouse before he begins moving through it. The conservatory responds differently to every day of weather. On bright mornings, sunlight fills the space with energy and warmth. On rainy mornings like this one, the atmosphere becomes quieter and more reflective. The muted light encourages stillness. Colors appear softer. Sounds seem gentler. The entire greenhouse feels as though it is inviting visitors to slow down and notice the beauty hidden within ordinary moments. The gardener begins his morning walk along a pathway lined with palms and flowering plants. Moisture drips occasionally from overhead leaves, creating a soft rhythm that accompanies his footsteps. The plants appear refreshed after the long night of rain. New growth catches his attention in several places. A fern unfurling another delicate frond, a vine reaching a little farther along its support, a flower opening slightly wider than it had been the day before. These changes are small, but they are never insignificant. The greenhouse is built upon such quiet progress. Nothing here grows dramatically overnight. Instead, life advances through countless subtle movements that reveal themselves only to those willing to look closely. The gardener has spent years learning to appreciate this pace, and in doing so, he has discovered a kind of patience that extends far beyond the conservatory itself. Above, droplets continue sliding slowly across the glass roof. Some merge together into larger streams before disappearing from view. Others remain suspended for several moments, catching the soft daylight like tiny mirrors. The sight is endlessly calming. There is no urgency in their movement. They simply follow gravity, moving exactly as they are meant to move. As the morning settles more fully over the greenhouse, the atmosphere remains wonderfully unchanged. Warm air drifts among the leaves. Moisture lingers upon flowers and glass. The pathways wind quietly through layers of greenery. Outside, the world remains hidden behind mist and rain, while inside, the conservatory continues offering its familiar sense of shelter and calm. And so, another day begins beneath the great Victorian greenhouse. The rain has softened, but its presence remains. The plants continue their patient growth. The gardener moves peacefully among them, and within this warm sanctuary of glass, moisture, and living green beauty, time once again seems to flow a little more slowly than it does anywhere else. As the morning gradually drifts toward midday, the mist beyond the greenhouse begins to lift, though the sky remains comfortably overcast. Soft light continues filtering through the glass roof, illuminating the conservatory with a gentle brightness that seems perfectly suited to the world growing beneath it. The rain has become less frequent now, arriving only in occasional showers that tap lightly against the glass before fading once again into silence. Inside, the greenhouse feels timeless. The warm air carries the familiar scent of soil, leaves, and moisture, while the countless plants continue their quiet work of growing. Every corner of the conservatory seems alive with subtle movement. A vine slowly twisting toward the light. A flower turning slightly toward an opening in the clouds above. A droplet sliding down the smooth surface of a leaf before disappearing into the earth below. The gardener moves through one of the largest sections of the greenhouse, where towering palms rise high toward the curved roof. Their broad leaves create layers of soft green shadows beneath them, transforming the space into something that feels closer to a tropical forest than a Victorian structure. Looking upward, it becomes difficult to see where the plants end and the architecture begins. Iron beams disappear behind foliage, and glass panels become partially hidden by leaves that have spent years reaching toward the light. One of the most remarkable qualities of the greenhouse is the way it changes the experience of weather. Outside, a cloudy day may feel gray and ordinary. Inside, those same clouds create a soft and beautiful light that enhances every detail. The absence of direct sunlight allows colors to appear richer and more balanced. Greens become deeper. Flowers seem more delicate. Even the water resting upon leaves appears brighter against the muted sky. As he walks, the gardener passes through a section filled with flowering orchids. Their blooms seem almost suspended in the humid air, each one displaying intricate patterns that reward careful observation. Some resemble delicate stars, others appear sculpted from silk. Beneath the diffused daylight, their colors remain soft and elegant, never overwhelming the calm atmosphere surrounding them. Nearby, a small stream created as part of the greenhouse landscape winds gently between stones and clusters of ferns. The water moves slowly, producing a faint sound that blends naturally with the occasional rain tapping against the roof above. The combination creates a soothing atmosphere, as though every element of the conservatory has been designed to encourage stillness and reflection. The gardener pauses beside the stream and looks around. The greenhouse is quiet, not empty, but peacefully quiet. Life exists everywhere within it, Yet nothing competes for attention. Every plant follows its own rhythm. Every drop of water follows its own path. The conservatory feels balanced in a way that many places rarely do. As midday approaches, the light brightens slightly behind the clouds, and for a few moments the entire greenhouse seems to glow. Leaves shimmer with moisture. Glass panels catch soft reflections from the sky above. Pathways appear almost luminous beneath the diffused daylight. Then, as another cloud drifts overhead, the brightness softens once more, returning the conservatory to its familiar silver calm. And so the morning continues beneath the great glass roof. The air remains warm and welcoming. The plants continue their patient growth. The gardener moves quietly among pathways lined with ferns, orchids and palms. And within this peaceful sanctuary of glass, mist and greenery, another beautiful hour unfolds with the same gentle grace that has always defined the Victorian greenhouse. As the afternoon begins to unfold, the greenhouse settles into one of its most peaceful moods. The brightening that briefly appeared around midday has faded once again behind layers of soft clouds, leaving the conservatory bathed in a gentle silver light. Outside, a light rain has returned, drifting across the gardens and tapping softly against the glass roof. The sound is delicate and familiar, weaving itself naturally into the atmosphere of the greenhouse, as though it has always belonged there. The gardener continues his quiet journey through the pathways, moving without hurry among the endless variety of plants that fill the conservatory. Years of care have transformed the greenhouse into a living tapestry of textures, shapes, and shades of green. Some plants rise high toward the roof, creating a canopy of leaves overhead. Others spread gently across the ground, softening the edges of pathways and stone borders. Together, they create an environment that feels both carefully cultivated and wonderfully natural. In one secluded corner of the greenhouse, a collection of tropical ferns thrives beneath the filtered light. Their delicate fronds overlap in graceful layers, creating patterns that seem almost impossible to design intentionally. Tiny droplets rest upon every surface, reflecting the muted daylight and giving the entire area a fresh, luminous quality. The gardener pauses here for a moment, appreciating the quiet beauty of a space that asks for nothing more than observation. The longer one remains within the greenhouse, the easier it becomes to notice the subtle rhythms that shape life inside it. Water gathers and falls. Leaves slowly turn toward the light. New growth emerges where there was none before. These movements are almost invisible from one moment to the next, yet together they create a continuous sense of gentle change. The greenhouse never stands completely still, yet it never feels busy. Its life unfolds at a pace that encourages patience. The rain overhead briefly grows stronger, creating a richer sound across the glass ceiling. Thousands of droplets arrive together before gradually easing once more into a softer pattern. The changing rhythm echoes gently throughout the conservatory, blending with the stillness of the plants and the warmth of the air. It is a sound that seems to slow every thought, encouraging the mind to drift peacefully from one observation to the next. As he continues walking, the gardener reaches a section filled with flowering plants gathered from distant climates. Their blooms bring small touches of color to the sea of green surrounding them. Soft whites, pale golds, and gentle shades of pink appear among the leaves like quiet surprises. None of them dominate the space. Instead, they contribute to the larger harmony of the greenhouse, adding beauty without disturbing its calm atmosphere. Beyond the glass walls, the outside world remains hidden beneath rain and cloud. The gardens appear softened by mist, their details fading into the distance. Yet rather than feeling isolated, The greenhouse feels connected to the weather in a peaceful way. Every droplet striking the roof becomes part of the experience. Every shift in the sky influences the light filtering through the conservatory. The greenhouse and the weather exist in constant conversation. As the afternoon continues, the pathways remain quiet, the air remains warm, and the plants continue their patient growth. The gardener moves calmly through this living landscape, accompanied by little more than the sound of rain and the presence of growing things. Beneath the great Victorian greenhouse, time seems to stretch gently, allowing each moment to linger just a little longer before drifting peacefully into the next. As the afternoon slowly approaches evening, the greenhouse seems to breathe a little more deeply. The light filtering through the glass roof becomes softer once again, gradually shifting from cool silver tones toward warmer shades that hint at the arrival of night. Outside, the rain continues its gentle journey across the landscape, moving through the gardens and over the rooftops beyond. Inside, the conservatory remains wrapped in warmth, moisture, and the quiet presence of countless growing things. The gardener follows a familiar pathway that circles the outer edge of the greenhouse. It is one of his favorite routes, offering views of both the lush interior and the rain-washed world beyond the glass. As he walks, he notices how the changing light transforms the plants around him. Leaves that appeared bright and vibrant earlier now seem softer and deeper in color. Moisture gathered upon their surfaces catches the fading daylight, creating tiny reflections that appear and disappear with every subtle shift in brightness. A gentle stillness settles throughout the conservatory. The sounds of the day seem more distant now. Even the rain overhead feels quieter, as though the weather itself is preparing for the evening. The only consistent sounds are the occasional drip of water from a leaf and the soft movement of air among the plants. Together, they create an atmosphere that feels perfectly balanced between motion and rest. The gardener pauses beside a large palm, whose leaves stretch high above the pathway. For many years it has stood here beneath the glass roof, quietly reaching upward season after season. Looking at it, he is reminded once again of the lesson that every greenhouse seems eager to teach. Growth does not happen all at once. It unfolds gradually, often so slowly that it can only be appreciated by those willing to remain patient. The palm did not become impressive in a single year. It became impressive through countless ordinary days, very much like this one. Nearby, a collection of flowering plants glows softly beneath the afternoon light. Their blooms seem calmer now, preparing for the transition into evening. Some flowers begin to close slightly, while others continue opening toward the last available light. The greenhouse is full of these quiet rhythms, small cycles unfolding continuously among the leaves and pathways. As he continues his walk, the gardener notices the first signs of evening gathering beyond the glass. The clouds have darkened slightly, and the gardens outside are becoming softer in appearance as shadows lengthen across the landscape. Yet the conservatory remains bright and welcoming. Soon the lanterns will be lit once more, filling the greenhouse with their familiar golden glow and transforming it into a warm sanctuary beneath the rainy sky. For now, however, the greenhouse exists in that peaceful space between afternoon and evening. The light remains gentle, the rain remains steady, the plants continue their patient growth. Nothing feels rushed, nothing feels unfinished. The entire conservatory seems content simply to exist within the moment. And so another afternoon draws quietly toward its close beneath the great Victorian greenhouse. The rain continues to whisper against the glass overhead. Warm air drifts among palms, orchids, and ferns. The gardener moves slowly through familiar pathways, surrounded by beauty that asks for nothing more than attention. Within this sanctuary of glass, rain and growing things, the day prepares to yield gracefully to the evening ahead. As evening returns once again to the greenhouse, the conservatory begins its familiar transformation. The last traces of daylight fade behind layers of cloud, and the rain continues falling softly across the great glass roof. Outside, the gardens gradually dissolve into mist and shadow, their colors muted by distance and weather. Inside, however, warmth remains constant. The air is rich with the scent of damp earth and greenery, while countless leaves glisten beneath the gentle light that lingers before night fully arrives. One by one, the lanterns are lit throughout the greenhouse. Their golden glow spreads across pathways, reflects from wet leaves, and settles softly upon flowers and vines. The change is gradual, but beautiful. Areas that moments ago rested in silver daylight now shine with warm amber tones. Shadows gather beneath towering palms, glass panels catch tiny reflections of light. The entire conservatory seems to become quieter and more intimate as evening settles over it. The gardener moves calmly through the greenhouse, carrying a lantern whose glow accompanies him along the winding pathways. At this hour, his work is simple. He checks that everything is comfortable and balanced before allowing the conservatory to settle into its nighttime rhythm. Most of the plants require nothing. They have spent the day gathering moisture and light, continuing the slow and patient work of growth that defines life within the greenhouse. As he walks, the sound of rain becomes more noticeable. Without the brightness of day, every droplet striking the glass roof seems clearer. Some arrive as soft taps. Others gather into tiny streams that slide slowly downward through the darkness above. The sound spreads gently throughout the structure, creating a peaceful backdrop that blends naturally with the stillness of the plants. Near the center of the conservatory, the ornamental pond reflects the lanterns with remarkable clarity. Golden light shimmers across its surface, while broad leaves cast soft shadows along the edges. The water remains almost perfectly still, disturbed only occasionally by a droplet falling from an overhanging branch. Each ripple expands slowly before fading, returning the pond to its quiet calm. The greenhouse feels especially comforting at this hour. Beyond the glass lies cool rain and gathering darkness. Within the conservatory, there is only warmth, light, and the quiet company of growing things. The contrast creates a feeling of shelter that is difficult to describe, but immediately recognizable. It is the feeling of being exactly where one wishes to be while the weather unfolds peacefully outside. As the evening deepens, the pathways grow quieter still. The lanterns glow steadily among the greenery. Moisture continues to gather upon leaves before slipping gently toward the soil below. The gardener lingers for a few moments, listening to the rain and observing the calm life of the greenhouse around him. And so another peaceful evening begins beneath the great Victorian greenhouse. Rain traces gentle paths across the glass overhead. Lantern light warms every corner of the conservatory. The plants continue their silent growth, and within this sanctuary of glass, warmth and rain, the night once again unfolds with calm and effortless grace. As the evening settles more deeply over the greenhouse, the world beyond the glass seems to grow quieter with every passing hour. The rain continues falling steadily, transforming the roof into a vast canopy of soft sound. Outside, darkness now blankets the gardens completely. Trees, pathways, and flower beds have become little more than faint shapes hidden behind moisture-covered panes. Yet inside the conservatory, warmth and light remain, creating an atmosphere that feels wonderfully distant from the night beyond. The lanterns glow gently among the plants, their reflections appearing upon wet leaves and polished glass. Large palms cast elegant shadows across the pathways, while clusters of orchids seem to float softly within the warm amber light. Every corner of the greenhouse carries its own quiet beauty. Some areas feel open and spacious beneath the high roof. Others are tucked away behind curtains of greenery, offering secluded spaces where one might sit for hours listening to rain and watching droplets gather upon leaves. The gardener follows one of these quieter pathways, moving slowly through a section filled with tropical plants collected from distant parts of the world. Though separated by oceans and climates in nature, they now grow together beneath the same glass roof, sharing warmth, moisture and light. It is one of the remarkable qualities of the greenhouse. It gathers pieces of many landscapes and allows them to coexist peacefully within a single sheltered world. The air feels especially rich at this hour. Moisture lingers among the leaves, carrying the scent of earth, moss and flowers through the conservatory. Every breath seems slower and deeper. The atmosphere encourages stillness without effort. There is no need to hurry through a place like this. The greenhouse rewards patience, revealing its beauty gradually to anyone willing to move at a gentler pace. The rain briefly grows heavier, creating a fuller sound overhead. Thousands of droplets strike the glass together, producing a soothing rhythm that fills the structure from end to end. The gardener pauses beneath a cluster of hanging ferns and listens. The sound is remarkably calming. It transforms the entire greenhouse into a place of quiet shelter, where the weather becomes something to appreciate rather than avoid. Nearby, a vine has climbed high enough to reach one of the iron beams supporting the roof. Its leaves catch the lantern light beautifully, creating delicate patterns against the glass above. Looking at it, the gardener is reminded once again of how slowly the greenhouse changes. Day by day, growth appears almost invisible. Yet over months and years, the conservatory transforms continuously, shaped by countless small moments of patient progress. The ornamental pond near the center of the greenhouse reflects the lanterns more brightly now that darkness has fully arrived. Gentle ripples move across its surface whenever a droplet falls from an overhanging leaf. The reflections stretch and shift before settling once again into calm stillness. Watching the water, it becomes easy to lose track of time entirely. As the evening continues, the greenhouse remains wrapped in warmth, rain and soft light. The plants continue their silent growth. Moisture gathers and falls. The lanterns glow steadily among endless shades of green, and beneath the great Victorian roof of glass and iron, another peaceful hour passes, carried forward by the comforting rhythm of rain and the quiet beauty of a world designed for patience. As the night advances, the greenhouse reaches a kind of stillness that only appears during the latest hours of the evening. The lanterns continue their quiet glow among the foliage, while the rain maintains its gentle rhythm upon the glass roof above. Nothing feels hurried, nothing demands attention. The conservatory seems content simply to exist within the peaceful balance of warmth, moisture, and darkness. The gardener now walks more slowly than at any other point in the day. His tasks have long since been completed, and the greenhouse requires little from him. Instead, he wanders through the pathways as one might stroll through a favorite landscape, appreciating familiar sights that never lose their charm. The curve of a fern frond, the reflection of lantern light upon a leaf, the quiet movement of water gathering and falling somewhere among the plants. These details are small, yet together they create the atmosphere he has come to cherish over the years. The rain overhead has settled into a steady pattern once again. Droplets arrive softly against the glass before sliding downward in countless winding paths. Occasionally, a larger stream forms and traces a slow journey across a pane, catching the lantern light before disappearing into the darkness below. From within the conservatory, the sound is deeply comforting. The weather remains present without ever becoming disruptive, reminding those inside that the world beyond the glass continues its own quiet rhythm through the night. As he moves through a section filled with palms and climbing vines, the gardener notices how the lantern light transforms the greenery. During the day, the leaves reveal every detail of their color and texture. At night, they become softer and more mysterious. Shadows gather between them, reflections shimmer along their edges. The greenhouse feels less like a collection of plants and more like a living landscape illuminated by scattered stars. In a secluded corner of the conservatory, a wooden bench rests beneath an arch of vines that have gradually claimed the structure over many years. It is a place designed for stillness. From here, one can listen to the rain, observe the reflections upon the glass, and watch moisture gather upon leaves without feeling the need to do anything else. The gardener pauses briefly, taking in the familiar scene before him. The greenhouse has offered countless moments like this throughout the years, simple moments of quiet observation that linger in memory long after more dramatic events have faded. The air remains warm and pleasantly humid. The scent of damp earth rises gently from the soil, while flowers contribute subtle traces of fragrance to the atmosphere. Nothing dominates. Everything blends together naturally, creating a sense of harmony that feels effortless. It is easy to understand why visitors often found themselves lingering longer than they intended. The greenhouse has a way of encouraging people to slow down without ever asking them to. Beyond the glass walls, the rain continues falling across the sleeping gardens. Inside, the lanterns glow steadily. Leaves glisten with moisture. The pathways remain empty and peaceful. Every element of the conservatory seems perfectly balanced, as though the greenhouse has spent years learning exactly how to create an atmosphere of comfort and calm. And so another quiet hour passes beneath the great Victorian greenhouse. The rain continues its gentle song. The lanterns cast warm reflections among the leaves. The gardener moves slowly through familiar pathways, accompanied by little more than the sounds of water and growing things. Within this sanctuary of glass and rain, the night unfolds with extraordinary gentleness, inviting everything around it to slow down and rest. As the night approaches its quietest hours, the greenhouse seems to settle into a state of complete calm. The rain continues to fall beyond the glass roof, but now its sound is softer than ever, like a distant whisper carried across the darkness. The lanterns remain lit throughout the conservatory, their warm glow resting gently upon leaves, flowers, and pathways that have grown increasingly peaceful as the evening has unfolded. Outside, the gardens sleep beneath the rain. Inside, the greenhouse remains awake in its own quiet way, filled with warmth, moisture, and the slow rhythm of living things. The gardener reaches the final stage of his evening walk and pauses near the center of the conservatory. Around him, the greenhouse feels almost timeless. The great iron framework rises into the darkness above, partially hidden behind palms, vines, and layers of greenery that have spent years reaching toward the light. Water droplets cling to leaves throughout the structure, occasionally falling into the soil below with a sound so gentle it barely disturbs the stillness. Looking around, it becomes clear that the beauty of the greenhouse has never depended upon dramatic moments. Its charm comes from quieter things. The way lantern light reflects from moisture gathered upon a leaf, the sound of rain tracing paths across glass, the slow growth of a vine over many seasons, the subtle changes that occur so gradually They can only be appreciated through patience. Everything here seems to encourage a different relationship with time, one based not on schedules or urgency, but on observation and presence. The ornamental pond reflects the lanterns with remarkable clarity. Golden shapes shimmer across its dark surface, stretching and shifting whenever a droplet falls from above. Nearby, orchids rest among the shadows, their petals glowing softly in the warm light. Ferns arch gracefully over the pathways. Palms stand quietly beneath the roof, their leaves creating elegant silhouettes against the glass. Every corner of the conservatory contributes to the same feeling of balance and tranquility. The rain outside briefly intensifies before softening once more. The sound moves gently through the greenhouse, echoing across the glass ceiling and blending with the quiet atmosphere below. Listening to it, one begins to understand why so many people found comfort in places like this. The greenhouse allows the weather to remain part of the experience while removing every sense of discomfort. Rain becomes music, darkness becomes atmosphere. The outside world becomes something beautiful to observe from a place of warmth and shelter. The gardener takes a final slow walk along the pathways before preparing to leave the conservatory to its nighttime rhythm. There is nothing more to adjust, nothing more to organize. The greenhouse is exactly as it should be. The plants continue their silent growth. Moisture continues gathering and falling. The lanterns continue their warm glow among the leaves. Everything feels settled. As he reaches the entrance, he pauses for one last look. The sight before him is familiar, yet no less beautiful because of that familiarity. The pathways winding through the greenery, the reflections dancing upon the pond, the lanterns glowing softly beneath the great roof of glass and iron. It is a scene shaped by patience, care, and countless quiet evenings very much like this one. And so the greenhouse settles fully into the heart of the night. Rain continues drifting across the glass overhead. Warm air lingers among palms, orchids, and ferns. The lanterns glow gently within the darkness. Beyond the walls, the world sleeps beneath the weather. Within the conservatory, calm remains undisturbed. The greenhouse stands as it always has, a sanctuary of glass, rain, warmth, and growing things, carrying its quiet beauty peacefully into the night ahead. As the final hours of the night settle gently over the greenhouse, everything seems to slow into a state of complete stillness. The rain continues falling beyond the glass roof, though now it arrives so softly that its sound feels almost woven into the silence itself. The lanterns remain lit among the pathways, their warm glow resting upon leaves, flowers, and glass with a quiet tenderness. Outside, the world has surrendered fully to darkness. Inside, the conservatory remains a sanctuary of warmth and calm, holding its own small climate beneath the vast canopy of iron and glass. The greenhouse has spent this long journey revealing itself gradually. Through morning mist, gentle afternoons, and rain-filled evenings, it has shown that beauty does not always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it exists within simple things. A droplet resting on a leaf, a fern slowly unfurling toward the light, the sound of rain tracing delicate paths across glass. These moments are easy to overlook in the hurried rhythm of everyday life, yet here they become the very heart of the experience. The lantern light moves softly across the conservatory, illuminating layers of greenery that seem almost endless in the darkness. Palms rise quietly toward the roof. Vines continue their patient climb along iron supports. Orchids rest among the shadows, their petals glowing gently beneath the warm light. Everywhere there is evidence of growth, not dramatic or urgent growth, but the slow and steady kind that unfolds over days, seasons, and years. The greenhouse asks for patience, and in return, it reveals a different way of experiencing time. Perhaps that is the true comfort of places like this. They remind us that not everything needs to happen quickly. The plants do not rush toward tomorrow. The rain does not hurry toward the end of the storm. The leaves gather moisture one droplet at a time. The flowers bloom when they are ready. Everything follows its own natural rhythm, trusting the quiet passage of time to carry it forward. The gardener understood this lesson well. Day after day, year after year, he walked these pathways, observing changes so small they might have escaped anyone else's attention. He learned to notice new growth where others saw only leaves. He learned to appreciate gradual progress rather than immediate results. Most importantly, he learned that there is a kind of peace available to those who slow down enough to see the world as it truly is, not as something to be hurried through, but as something to be experienced. The rain overhead continues its gentle conversation with the glass roof. Occasionally, a droplet falls from a leaf into the ornamental pond below, sending small ripples across the dark surface before calm returns once more. The lanterns reflect softly upon the water. Shadows rest comfortably among the plants. The entire greenhouse feels balanced, as though every element has settled exactly where it belongs. Beyond the walls of the conservatory, the night stretches quietly across gardens, fields, and distant landscapes hidden by darkness. Yet within the greenhouse, there is no need to think about distant places or future hours. The warmth remains. The rain remains. The gentle company of growing things remains. Everything necessary for this moment is already here. As the night continues, the lanterns seem softer than before. Their reflections blur gently against the moisture gathered upon the glass. The pathways disappear gradually into shadows. The rain becomes quieter. The air remains warm and still. It feels as though the greenhouse itself is preparing for rest, inviting every leaf, every flower, and every wandering thought to settle peacefully into the calm of the night. So allow the conservatory to grow quieter around you. Let the sound of rain upon glass become softer and more distant. Let the warm lantern light fade gently into the background. Let the pathways, the leaves, the flowers, and the reflections upon the pond drift peacefully through your imagination as the night carries everything forward at its own gentle pace. The rain is still falling, the lanterns are still glowing, the greenhouse is still warm, and beneath the great Victorian roof of glass and iron, surrounded by growing things and the quiet rhythm of water, the night continues unfolding exactly as it should. Good night, and may your rest be as peaceful as a warm greenhouse filled with soft rain, glowing lanterns, and the timeless comfort of nature sheltered beneath glass.